Next, the Boston Yacht Club celebrates 150 years in Marblehead. And how have you been enjoying your summer? The August 12th edition of Headliner starts now. Hello everyone and welcome to MHTV's Headliner. I'm Jess Burton from Riverhead Beach. John Caswell will return next week. With the heat wave upon us, it's crucial to talk about practicing proper beach and water safety. And who better to tell us how to do that than the Recreation and Parks Director himself, Tim Short. I got to talk with Tim today about how to practice proper beach safety while you're down here visiting, and also some activities you can do to have some fun in the sun.
This is a great day for a classic weather day for the beach down here. Really happy to see it. Got a lot of good residents down here, people from out of town enjoying the beach today. You know, as far as beach safety is concerned from this year, we are happy that we have an excellent staff on hand. We've got some great lifeguards that have been patrolling our beaches and making sure that, you know, obviously for residents and non-residents, that Devereaux Beach is not only a safe place, but also an enjoyable place to bring friends and family.
The Recreation and Parks Department, you guys only staff the Devereaux Beach with the lifeguards?
Yeah, that's correct. This is the only location where we have beach that we would staff at this time.
One of the most important things during the summer is child safety. And, baby safety. There's babies everywhere,
Absolutely.
Little kids everywhere in the summertime. As a parent yourself, what can you tell other parents, suggestions to keep them safe?
Yeah, what I do with my daughter Lily, you know, when me and my wife are out enjoying, you know, beaches like Devereaux Beach or any beach on the North Shore, you know, just keep your eye on your kids. I think that's the most important part. I mean, obviously parents get distracted, you know, we all do, trying to do 100 different things, but you know, you definitely want to keep your eyes on your kids in an environment like this. You know, our lifeguards are here to perform the service if need be, you know, to really make sure that everyone's safe, but you know, parents want to make sure that they keep their eyes on their kids as well.
What other things can they do for safety, just families in general, like, but let's see a lot of umbrellas, but then are there restrictions too, like no glass so we don't have any cuts, any accidents like that?
Yep, so when you come to Devereaux Beach or, you know, really any park in Marblehead, you want to limit what you're bringing in terms of glassware. It's really for the safety for everyone. You don't want to have something broken on the beach and have that, you know, have an injury with anyone that's here. So yeah, you want to keep anything that you bring to plastic or paper, just to make sure that everyone's safe out here.
And you got plenty of recycling barrels and trash around?
One of the things that we did over last year with recycling is we increased the number of bins that we have around not only the playground here, but also around the main pavilion as well. Marblehead's a real big supporter of making sure that we recycle as much as we possibly can, and the Recreation and Park Department supports that mission.
I feel like every time I come down here, it seems like the playground has expanded. Have you guys done work on it this past year?
So no, this is the playground that was actually installed back in 2014,
okay.
And it looks just as good as it did back in that first full year. So one of the things that we've been most pleased with is how it's held up against some of the storms that we've had. And it looks just really nice. Kids enjoy using it, really, you know, all year round. It's just a really nice thing. You know, as far as handicapped accessibility, it's just one of the only playgrounds on beachlands that are handicapped accessible to the degree, I believe it's around 75 to 85% is accessible.
And then, so it's not only for kids down here. Tell me some things that the adults can do to enjoy themselves while they're here. Got lime rickies and then some paddleboarding maybe? Yeah,
so the vendor on Riverhead side, East Coast Stand-Up Paddleboarding, has been a vendor with us for a couple of years now. They're doing kids programming throughout the summer for us, but obviously they have adult programming as well that people can take part in, and it's a great opportunity to access the water and, you know, really cool off, especially during these hot times.
Tell me a little bit about Lime Rickies.
So Lime Rickies, also a great partner for the town. They offer full service restaurant, food for the beach, drinks, so it's great to have someone like that here. It adds just another great wrinkle to what we offer here on the beach between food, bathrooms, programming across the street with paddleboarding, playground. It's really all-encompassing area that we have.
I know parking can get a little tricky all over town, and we have the big parking lot here or two. tell out-of-town residents what they should do, and even some in-town residents want to grab the last half of summer and come down?
Yep, so one of the things that we actually started last fall was to open up the main Ushers parking lot, and that increases the overall size and capacity that we have to have cars over there. So we had started to rip out some of the islands, and we're going to be actually moving forward with the next phase of that project this fall, where we're going to be moving the Quonset hut next to our beach garage and leveling off that area as well. So in the future we'll have even more parking capacity. And to that end, we're going to be looking to do something really special in 2017 with this additional parking space. Looking to do a drive-in movie next summer, something that we've been throwing around. And we saw that Salem Recreation and Parks just did this over at Winter Island. And I think that Devereaux Beach would be a great place for a drive-in movie. And it kind of follows up of what we've actually been doing at Seaside Park over the last couple of years with the movies in the park. So,
all right, thanks, Tim. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate the time.
Enjoy your summer.
You too.
It is one of, if not the hottest day of the summer so far. So while I'm here today, I'm going to talk to some of our brave beachgoers to see why they wanted to come out and bear the heat today and why Devereaux Beach is the place to be. Are you enjoying your summer?
Oh yeah, it's a great summer. It's really good.
And why do you choose to come to Devereaux Beach?
We have friends that live here in Massachusetts, so we're visiting them.
Where are you visiting from?
Pennsylvania.
And what have they told you about Devereaux? Good things?
Oh yeah, all good things. It's a really, really nice place.
The weather. Nice and warm. Beautiful beaches. Great family visiting. It's great.
Are you a local resident?
Yes, live in Marblehead.
So is Devereaux Beach your beach of choice?
Yes, I think so, locally, because there's a concession stand and it's really good, so it's a great place to get food.
So how are you enjoying Marblehead?
It's pretty nice today.
And you're enjoying your summer here?
Yeah, it's beautiful and it's quiet and you don't get all the tourists.
And what brings you to Devereaux Beach?
I'm home from New York, visiting my parents, so we have the day off today.
Where are you visiting from?
New York City.
And how'd you choose to come to Marblehead and Devereaux Beach?
My daughter's been living in Marblehead for the last 20 years. She went to school at Leslie College and never came home.
So you've been enjoying your visits?
Absolutely. I mean, what's not to enjoy?
Well, it's not as crowded as some beaches. It's more natural. It's really great. And yeah, I don't know, the people are nice. The water's awesome. It's a great place.
It's a beautiful family beach.
And are you from Marblehead?
No, I'm from Peabody.
Peabody. So what brings you to Devereaux Beach?
We found it a few years ago, my husband and I, and we just stuck with it. And this is our spot.
What is your favorite part about coming out to Marblehead?
It's quiet, it's all family. There's all the convenience that you want. That's it.
I'm on holiday, vacation with my friends here from England, and I'm really enjoying this, wonderful beach.
And how'd you choose Marblehead and Devereaux Beach?
Because my friends are local, they live in Marblehead, and I was here at Christmas time, and I'm back again because I love it.
Are you enjoying yourself today?
Yes, very much so.
What's the best thing about the beach?
Just the view. I love the view of the bay and the islands, the little pockets of islands. It's really nice, yeah. The water is a bit cold.
I'm enjoying it very much, actually, yeah.
What's your favorite parts about it?
Lime brickies, to be honest with you. Yeah, I love lime brickies and the facility of being able to get food, go to the bathroom, the water, comfortable. Yeah.
How is the water today?
I haven't been in yet. I will, though.
And what's your favorite part about Marblehead and being in town?
The people. I love the people in Marblehead. I love the quietness. I love everything about it, really. That's why we moved here.
The Boston Yacht Club has been a fixture on the Marblehead waterfront for 150 years. Headliner correspondent Ed Bell talked to Commodore Barry Klickstein about the club and how they're celebrating the sesquicentennial anniversary.
So Barry,
glad you could come.
What is special about this year?
Well, I think, what's very special to us is that in 1866, four fellows got together in Boston Harbor. They were devoted to sailing. There was no such thing as a recreational yacht club, and they decided to form one. And we, as we stand here today, are the happy descendants of the club that those four guys formed that day.
So we celebrated 150 years here in the waterfront. What stood out for you this year?
Well, I think the crown jewel of our sesquicentennial celebration was the Symphony by the Sea. Our social chair, Dana Williams, came to me 2 or 3 years ago, and she said, you know, Barry, you're going to be Commodore during the sesquicentennial. And after she explained to me what sesquicentennial meant and how to pronounce it, she said, look, I think I have a marvelous idea. We have a professional symphony orchestra on the North Shore, the Symphony by the Sea. Let's bring them down to the club. Let's have them play musical pieces that are themed with the sea, with the ocean, with sailing. And let's celebrate with the members with the Symphony by the Sea, right by the sea, in our very own parking lot. So Dana conceived of and basically brought off the tent event where we had a 40-piece orchestra, if I was still counting correctly, that was just playing a marvelous program, and over 250 folks enjoying that Symphony by the Sea, by the Symphony by the Sea.
And I might add a whole contingent of those were from the Halifax Yacht Club.
We did. I mean, you know, our relationship with the Royal Nova Scotia Squadron, over 14 folks made the trek down from Halifax just to celebrate that with us, and it was a marvelous, marvelous event.
How long has the Halifax been going on?
Well, the Halifax race has been going on for over 100 years. That's a race that we run with our partner, the Royal Nova Scotia Yacht Squadron. They come down from Halifax, cruise down, and then we race back every 2 years. It's a marvelous event. It tracks about 75 ocean racing yachts every year, and it's just a wonderful event. It's a wonderful international sailing event, and it's a pleasure to have all of our friends from the squadron come down and visit us. And they fortunately do that every year, not just every 2 years. Oh, they love Marblehead, and I think Marblehead loves them back. They enjoy enjoying themselves, they enjoy the restaurants, and they love the historic nature of the town. Of course, you know, there's a very special relationship that New England, Boston especially, has with Halifax. And that, of course, dates back to the great munition ship explosion in Halifax, when thousands of people were killed on one day. And Boston was the first place to send them aid. And the Christmas tree that comes to Boston every year is symbolic of the warm relationship that Halifax has with Boston, and our relationship with the squadron really is almost as deep and even longer.
Now, as I count it, there are at least 5 yacht clubs on the harbor. What makes Boston different or special?
Well, I'm prejudiced, so we have wonderful yacht clubs in Marblehead, and we're all very collegial with each other. So when you ask what makes it special, it's entirely subjective. The Boston is a waterfront club. Unlike, you know, the Easton and the Corinthian, we don't offer a pool, we don't offer tennis. We're focused out the front door on the harbor as you see it. So we think we offer the best waterfront, the best launch service, the best support. We have the only fuel facility at a private club in the area. And we also make boats available to our members. We have a fleet of boats that members can take out at no charge. We actively get them involved in boating, and we have programs so that it makes it very easy to come here, make friends, become part of the sailing community or the boating community or the fishing community, and enjoy it. And of course, the one advantage we have that no other club has is we're year-round. We have a phenomenal chef, and we run our restaurant year-round to very good crowds. It's a phenomenal opportunity when the weather gets bad to come down and sit and talk about what you've just done or what you're going to do, you know, when the weather lightens up.
Or to watch the frostbite races out the window, right?
To watch the very brave frostbite races out the window, which is as close as I'm going to get.
Coming up on Headliner, Cindy's Consumer Corner tells us tips on how to buy a used car, and meet Dr. Adam Fall from North Shore Physical Therapy. Headliner will return right after this.
Hello, I am Chief Robert Piccarello of the Marblehead Police Department, and we need your help. The New England region has been undergoing a serious problem with heroin and opioid overdoses. These overdoses have cost many people throughout the region their lives. We need your help by calling 911 if you know of someone who's in an overdose situation or in need of medical help. The Good Samaritan law allows people to call 911 to get help for someone while also preventing them from being charged with possession of small amounts of drugs. Today, first responders are carrying Narcan, a drug which can often help a person experiencing an opioid overdose. By calling for help, you give someone a chance to get into treatment and potentially recover from the addiction, and at the same time, you are exempt from being prosecuted for possession of small amounts of drugs. What you are not exempt from is being arrested for a warrant, possession of large amounts of drugs from which someone is distributing, or a gun charge. So please, if you know of someone in an overdose situation, make the call and get them help.
In this technological age, we all need to be smarter consumers. Protecting your personal information will go a long way toward decreasing your risk of identity theft. Don't become a victim. Learn what you can do. Consumers Empowered can help you. Scammers are everywhere trolling for new victims. That letter in your mailbox saying you've won a big prize is a great way for a scammer to get to you. Some phone scammers and robocallers, who may even seem to know you, may ask for your social security number or credit card or bank information. Public Wi-Fi connections are a great convenience, but they're also a great way for a cybercriminal to attempt to steal your personal information. Don't let them make you a victim. Consumers Empowered is a nonprofit dedicated to helping Massachusetts residents protect themselves. Learn more at consumersempowered.org.
We all know that buying a used car can be tricky sometimes. In this week's Cindy's Consumer Corner, Cindy Matloff of Consumers Empowered Inc. tells us tips to look out for when buying used.
Hello, and welcome to Cindy's Consumer Corner. Have you noticed that the days seem to be getting a little shorter? Yes, there is no doubt that the summer is flying by, and many of us are already thinking about returning to school, work, and a host of other activities that always begin in September. As our schedules start to get more complicated, many consumers consider looking for a used car. Used cars can be bought from car dealers, the internet, classifieds, even your neighbor. Seems easy enough, but did you know in Massachusetts, car sales consistently rank in the top 10 complaints in the stats compiled by the Office of the Attorney General, Office of Consumer Affairs, and the Better Business Bureau? So, if you're in the market for buying a used car and want to avoid some unpleasant headaches, here are a few tips to keep in mind. First of all, make a budget. You're going to be adding car payments, insurance, gas, maintenance costs, and excise tax to your monthly expenses, so seriously consider what you can realistically afford to spend. Why do I say this? With all kinds of easy car financing options readily available these days, consumers can get into trouble, which sometimes can lead to nasty consequences like having the car repossessed. Do your homework. There are many fine resources out there to help you decide what to buy. For example, Consumer Reports has compiled a list of the best and the worst cars to buy in 2016. They also have a great guide detailing the repair history of used cars from 2006 to date. Consumer Report can be easily found at the Abbott Library here in Marblehead. You can look up car prices, used and new, at Edmunds.com or Kelley Blue Book. Free resources are available by contacting the Office of Consumer Affairs. Once you have shopped around and have identified a car that fits your needs, be sure to take the car for a spin. Ask yourself, does the transmission shift smoothly? How do the brakes feel? Does the car have enough power? Inspect the car carefully. Do you see any rust or blue smoke? Does it stall out? Run a Carfax that will cost around $30. A Carfax will give you the history of the car you are considering. It can identify if the car has been in a flood or an accident based on insurance records. You will need the VIN. VIN is for Vehicle Identification Number, which is located on the side door. I've always been impressed with car dealers who include a Carfax when negotiating the deal. Finally, have a trusted mechanic check out the car. This will cost you approximately $50 to $100, depending on how much time the mechanic spends. One Marblehead mechanic told me, flat out, it is the best $50 you will ever spend. A good mechanic will run a compression check on the engine, check the ball joints, differential, battery, emissions, hose and fluids, and more. So you are now in a strong position to make an offer. But be aware, many car salesmen are known for their high-pressure sales tactics. Take your time before signing any contract and make sure you read it thoroughly. And remember, in Massachusetts, you don't have 3 days to cancel a contract. The contract is binding, including the initial deposit you put down. Buyer beware. You are now an empowered consumer to make a smart car buying decision. For more information, check out our website, consumersempowered.org, or as always, I welcome your questions and comments at consumersempowered@gmail.com. Thank you for joining me. Until the next time, safe driving. So long.
And now headliner health consultant Julie Freeman introduces us to Dr. Adam Fall from North Shore Physical Therapy.
Hello, I'm Julie Freeman, local nutritionist and wellness educator here in Marblehead, Mass. And today I have Adam Fall from North Shore Physical Therapy here on Widger Road in Marblehead. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great. So I'd really like to talk a little bit about your background and how you became interested in physical therapy. So tell us.
Definitely. I, originally after graduating from undergrad, I had an idea in terms of I want to do something in healthcare. I researched a couple different professions, and I finally had the opportunity to volunteer at a local hospital and work closely with therapists there. And I got a pretty good idea that they had the ability to work with an individual on a regular basis and see them improve their function from needs as dressing to doing things around the house, and how quickly they can make little changes with education, hands-on therapy, and be able to really, make a difference in that individual's life.
Wonderful, yeah.
So.
Great, and how long have you been here at North Shore?
I've been here for about 8 years.
Okay.
I graduated from physical therapy school in Arizona, where I met my wife, and she wanted to move a little closer to home, and I was obliged to do that. So. I want to explore some opportunities out here in physical therapy as well after working a couple different settings in Arizona. And, I was able to find something close to home. And after talking with Dave Roberts, the owner at North Shore Physical Therapy, he provided a really positive setting for working one-on-one with the patients here. So from that standpoint, it was a little different than Arizona, where I worked at a couple different settings in terms of bouncing back and forth from one patient to another. Here we were able to really sit down with an individual and hammer out their needs and what their complaints are, and work with them every time they came in here solely without too many distractions from other patients or whatnot.
Sure, sure, yes. And I've had the opportunity of working with you personally, so that's been a wonderful experience as well.
Hopefully,
yes.
yeah, hopefully, yeah, it was positive, right? You're able to move now?
Absolutely,
Okay,
yes, much better, right.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Great, so tell me a little bit about the demographics, like what population groups do you work with here?
Yeah, it's a wide range. It ranges from pediatric to geriatric patients. Some just, hurt their back, doing yard work, stuff around the house, or from repetitive activities such as, recreational things as swimming, knitting. So we hit the whole gamut of people. And then post-surgical, obviously, is a big portion of what we see. So it just depends, but we really are involved in the community here, so we, try to get, a bunch of different individuals that are, basically going to find some success with coming here.
Great.
So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to learn more about North Shore Physical Therapy, it is www.northshorept.com. So it's a very easy website to see. And we're going to have Adam back again to talk about a particular program very shortly. So thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Sometimes in the summer, the National Weather Service will issue an air quality alert for unhealthy air caused by temperature inversion. On this week's Eye in the Sky, Dave Howells, our weather watcher, explains.
You may or may not have heard of what's called a temperature inversion. Simply put, a temperature inversion is when you have a layer of warm air above and a cool layer of air down near the ground. Normally, there is cooler air up above, and it gets cooler as you go higher. And that means that any heating of the ground rises into that cooler air and will continue to rise as long as it is warmer than the air around it. Sometimes, if it's very cold high up above, that warm air will continue to rise very high up, condensing into clouds, those puffy cumulus clouds, and sometimes eventually into rain-producing clouds. On the other hand, when you have a temperature inversion, you have that warm air above acting as a lid, which means that the rising warm air from below really doesn't rise all that high and gets trapped in lower levels of the atmosphere. And along with that warm air getting trapped, you can also have smog. A temperature inversion can occur under two primary circumstances. One is during a clear, calm night, when any heating of the day rises into space, leaving the cooler, heavier air down near the ground. But another more pronounced effect of an inversion occurs during the summertime, when you have a warm air mass overhead caused by large high pressure, allowing the sun to heat up all levels of the atmosphere. And that warm air up above acts like a lid and a greenhouse effect, really trapping the warm air in all levels of the atmosphere. And when that occurs, you can have very unhealthful conditions as smog, smoke from smokestacks and cars and so forth starts to accumulate and not able to rise, but rather get trapped near the ground. For MHTV with an eye in the sky, I'm Dave Howells.
And that'll wrap things up for this week's edition of Headliner. John Caswell will be back in studio next week, and I'll be joining him September 2nd for your MHS Fall Sports Preview. From Riverhead and Devereaux Beach, I'm Jess Burton. Thanks for watching. Have a good week.